Ray Charles, James Brown, Aretha Franklin. On the guitar side, it would I got a chance to be in the presence of my three heroes, BB, Albert King, and Albert Collins. The only one I missed was Freddie.
Freddie, yeah.
So if I could do that, that would be great. I did get a chance to, in terms of heroes, I got a chance to work with Hubert Sumlin,
Oh man.
with James Cotton, with Candy Staten, and that would be the most recent and the latest, and Dr. John.
Okay.
Dr. John as well, yeah.
All right. How about you?
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Lee Batts. Lee Batts.
Lee Batts, that's right.
Kevin Collier.
All right.
Steve knows Lee Batts.
That's cool. That's cool. Steven, how about you, man?
Oh no, I always liked Johnny Guitar Watson. Wish I could have met him, man, and jammed with him. He's got some cool music, funky blues, you know. That would be one of my guys. I would have really liked to jam with him.
All right. Charlie?
You know, I've always wanted to write a song or play piano behind Bonnie Raitt. I'd like to go on a two-week tour with her, you know.
There you
I think
go.
it'll happen.
Well, you never know. I mean, somebody might make sure she sees the video. Who knows?
Somebody
You
need
never
to
know,
leave
man.
your piano stage or something.
Yeah. I mean, you've done work with this guy, so that's pretty
That's
big.
pretty big right there.
Yes, you bet. Rhett, how about you, man?
A ton of them. I'm gonna say probably 90% of my heroes are dead. But two of the biggest ones for me would have been not necessarily even having to play with anybody, but just to see Albert Collins and Freddie King. That would, you know, I just wish I could have seen Albert Collins once, just something, because you know the stories that I hear and him going out of the club and ordering a pizza or buying a pop on his 150-foot cable, still playing, going and buying something from the store next door, coming back around and getting back up on stage and play. I mean, the guy had to have been just wicked showman, and I love that kind of stuff. And I'm gonna say definitely Albert Collins if I could have any one of them.
That's good.
I have an Albert story. Once we were touring, our first major tour was Gary Moore, and he kept us in Europe for about 6 months. So we went to, what was the Berlin? We went to Berlin, and it was a place there called Quasimodo's. So it was Gary Moore, Albert Collins, and our band. So after our gig was all over, Albert Collins said to me, he said, "Hey, they tell me Hubert and them playing just up around the block. Come walk with me around here." So we walked together, and we found this place called Quasimodo's where that Hubert was playing. Well, also playing on the bill was Louisiana Red. You might be familiar with Red or whatnot, but Louisiana Red was a big man, a big, tall, big, square, barrel-chested man. So I walked into the club with Albert Collins, and when Louisiana Red looked up and saw Albert Collins, he started at the back, and he ran up to Albert. He said, "Ah!" And he grabbed him, and he picked him up like a baby, and he jumped pogo style over that whole club. He started around that with Albert, and it said he jumped Albert over that whole club. Everybody said, ah. And then when it was all over with, when we leaving, back to where we were supposed to be at, I asked Albert, what was that all about? He said, "Man," he said, "when I met Red," he said, "Red come to California whenever it was in the 60s. And he said when he met Louisiana Red had a guitar and was sleeping in a tree in the park. And he gave him a place to stay, and you know, they became friends and stuff like that. So when, I'm sure he didn't expect to see him over in Germany, you know, Albert just walked up and surprised him. And when he looked up and saw him, that's what he had when he jumped him over the whole club.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All right. Rhett, I'm going to start back with you. Dig deep for this one, if you would. Tell me about the most fun you've ever had, be it on stage or in the studio.
On stage or in the studio?
Your choice.
All of it. I can't pick one. It's just every time I get to do it, it's just it's a whole lot of fun. For those folks that don't know, I get to now. I have a built-in drummer at home that my wife plays drums, and get to take her on the road, and we get to have a lot of fun together.
You don't refer to her as the built-in drummer, do you?
No. But I mean, we get to have a lot of fun, and I'd say some of my most memorable times playing have been, her throwing drumsticks at me when I miss something, or go around one more time, and she's trying to end. But I'm gonna pick that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. How about you, Charlie?
Man, I had a lot of fun playing, just about every time, but if I have to, I guess I'd pick my first gig with the McCray Brothers band, back in the late '80s, opening up for the Kinsey Report at the Michigan Festival of Lansing, and playing with this fabulous blues band, and in front of all these people, I was 10 feet tall, I'll tell you that.
Them some good days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kid. Steven?
Probably, I like recording and being on studios and stuff. We did a Lansing Community College, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we did a set over there. They recorded it, and that was
Michigan State.
Oh, was this the
Michigan
video
State. Huh?
at the TV station? The
Yeah.
video?
yeah.
Behind backstage.
Backstage pass. That's Michigan
Backstage
State.
pass. There you
That
go.
was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That's Michigan
And,
State.
That video's still out there on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah, it is. And another one that's on YouTube is called "Rock My Ass."
Yeah.
And we had just left the gig here in Bay City at the Lantern, the old Lantern,
Oh, yeah, down by the river.
playing on the
Yeah.
patio, and it was summertime. So packed up the gear, drove straight to, what was it, St. Charles, Illinois?
Right outside Chicago, yeah.
And as soon as we got there, we
and
had
drove
to set up.
right to. I mean, it wasn't no time to.
Yeah, we didn't
brush
go to the
teeth or
hotel,
nothing.
nothing.
We drove right up and drove right there and started setting up.
And I
for
thought
the-
it was gonna be a terrible show, but looking at the video, it's probably one of the best
better ones.
performances that we got on recording to
Okay.
this day.
Yeah, and everybody was beat
Just
tired.
If you get a chance, go check it out. It's Larry McCray, Rock My Ass.
I'll put the link up on the episode, I promise.
It's part 1 and part 2. It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. All right. How about you?
Well, I was lucky enough to go set up my guitars at some Larry McCray shows and Blackberry Smoke and
Yeah, oh, I remember that.
a bunch of different Chilean blues fest, Fernetta Davis, Three Dog Night was at a couple.
Sam Fish.
Yeah, got to hang out with Aaron Coburn a lot.
Yeah, Sam Fish.
Brett Yocom was at a lot of those.
John Primer was at that
Jake
show.
Kershaw, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And Marcus King.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus
John
King.
Mayhaw was that?
Yeah, yeah,
I got that in my truck.
Yeah.
Because of John Mayhaw.
yeah.
Larry,
John Mayhaw down.
How about you, man?
Well, like I say, I've had many experiences, but one that is so high on my list is getting a chance to work with Candy Staten in the studio, because outside of Aretha Franklin and Gladys Knight, I have always felt that that was my third pick. She was them. I couldn't never figure out which one of them I liked. Aretha probably was my absolute favorite, but I mean, I love Gladys Knight just that much, and I love Candy Staten just as much as I love Gladys. So I got a chance to meet her son, first of all, and I had no idea that she was recording, but he records her at his house, and we did some gigs together down in Macon, Georgia. And so her son Marcus told me, he said, Mama gonna be coming over doing some vocals today. He said, y'all come on by there. I said, man, I don't want to ruin the session. I just wanted to meet her and say hello, and everything. I just really would love to get a chance to say hello to her and let her know I've been listening to her ever since I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so I got a chance to meet her. She was the nicest lady in the world. She heard me hit a couple of licks and asked me if I wanted to play, and then the next thing I know, I was singing on it.
Oh,
And so, you know, she asked me, you know, how much do I owe you, and all that stuff. And I said, Miss State, you don't owe me nothing. I said, it's my honor to do so. And I also got a chance to tell her that if I had had my choice about it, that I would have been the male version of Candy Staten, because she had them kind of vocals.
Okay.
And
all right.
and that's what I loved about it, you know.
Man.
Yeah.
Man. All right, guys. Single biggest gift that you feel you've received as a musician. Larry, I'm going to start with you.
No, it's hands down. When we finished our first tour in Europe, Gary Moore gave me a custom 1957 Stratocaster. It was a limited edition. It was 440 of 500 made. There's 500 of them made, and I got number 440 signed and plated from Gary, and I still have it.
Wow.
Mhm.
You'll have to show me
To
next time.
Larry from Gary, June of either 1991, I think it was.
Now, am I wrong? Did you have a guitar that was built by the Luthier that built one for Freddie King?
Albert King.
Albert King.
But it was not the luthier.
Okay.
The luthier who built my guitar was trained by the guy,
Okay.
trained by Dan Earlywine, who's the
Yeah.
one who built Lucy for Albert King.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't Earlywine.
That was the
It-
one you
it
showed,
it was
showed
one
Dan
of,
and I.
Yes, it was one of his understudies.
All right.
Uh,
Cool. How about you? Any good stories? Some good gifts?
I don't really have any good gift. Maybe my bone slide from Randy Brutz. I think it's magic.
That's where you got that from?
Yeah,
Very
Randy
cool.
Brutz. Larry's got one. Mojo Bone Works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is that one you gave me also?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, now I feel special.
two tones. It's two tones in color, but it's two tones in sound. This is bone and this is wood, right?
Yep.
And so the bone doesn't sound nothing like the wood, but they both have their own personality. So it's a
Wow.
two-tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
See, learn something new every day. Steven, how about you, man? Greatest gift you ever got as a musician?
Hmm.
And it could be a lesson, it could be a
Yeah, I
real
was gonna
gift.
say maybe not nothing material, but just the fact that I've been on stage with so many different musicians, different styles and stuff. I think that's made me the drummer that I am today. I can jump in with a lot of different genres, and I know how to play with bands and when to break down, and just learning that stuff, and the fact that I know that stuff and I've locked it in my brain.
Control the dynamics.
Yeah, I can just being able to play with almost any kind of music. You know, I'm not really a jazz guy per se, but I could dabble with it a little bit, but
Sure.
mostly all the other genres I'm kind of fluent in, you know, so I think that just, it made me a better musician by all the musicians that I played with.
All right.
Different diversity.
Charlie?
Well, the best physical gift, I guess, I was in Arkansas with Larry and Steve. I got there a couple days early, and I'm hanging. It was for the King Biscuit Blues Festival in 1994,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there a couple days early, and I got the motel room at the Delta Inn, and the headliner band, they were staying in rooms right next to me, and I knew who they were, and they're real nice guys, and they invited me to their room to hang out after the show, and their drummer gave me a hat.
Mm.
Levon Helm.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I thought about wearing it tonight. I should have.
Oh, you
Yeah.
should.
He just, we're talking, just shooting the shit about Ray Charles and Seattle and this and that, and he just pulled up his bag and he pulled out a hat. He said, "Here you go." He gave me a hat.
Wow. He used to be walking around down there all the time down there at the Biscuit, you know.
Yeah.
He was from Fordyce, which
Yeah.
is not a long way from, you know, from Helena down up in
Yeah,
there.
he, in that room, in his room, and there were so many people coming and going. Charlie Dick, I met Charlie Dick that night.
Was Danko?
You know, Charlie Dick was Patsy Cline's husband.
Okay.
He was in there talking about a documentary, and Rick Danko was in there. You know, all
Yeah.
those guys were hanging out in there, and I was just drinking beer and shooting the shit with Levon.
Man, how cool is that?
Thanks to Larry and Steve.
All right, Rhett, tell the story, man.
That's what I was gonna say. It's not a setup. I don't know what it is. The greatest gift that I've probably gotten as a musician was being freshman. So I had been 14 years old when Larry and Steve came to my high school because Mark Williams and played in the band. Larry played in the band room and just absolutely blew me away because I didn't know that existed. I had absolutely no clue, none whatsoever, and I watched the band play. I don't know who. I know it was Steve and Larry. I don't know. I think it was
Stan, my cousin on the
I was
bass.
gonna say I think his cousin on bass. I don't know who was on keyboards.
Steve Boone, maybe.
Either Boone or that boy from Lansing.
I know he had a hat. He had a
Uh-huh,
hat with a feather in it. That's all I remember. And he did have a real Leslie, but ended up, Larry brought a couple first act guitars with him, and I was one of the people that ended up walking away with, there was a first act guitar and a bass, and my name got drawn out of a hat, and it just absolutely started. I know Larry didn't know what he was starting, I know Steve didn't know what they were starting.
Struck the match.
Nobody had absolutely no idea, that I'd be doing this kind of stuff.
And it's been how many years now?
20?
20 years.
20, 21? I'm 35 now.
Yeah.
So it
And
would've
you're
been
pretty much
2004.
considered part of the McCray family, an extended member of the family. Am I?
Good friends, but
Rhett McCray.
Rhett McCray.
Rhett McCray. I guess it's official, right? All right, guys. If you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what kind of advice would you give to that younger self? Let's start with you, Rhett.
Hit it hard and hit it fast. I mean, don't wait around for nobody else, because nobody's gonna wait around for you. If, I wouldn't have some of the things that I have today, and I'm thankful for those, but also, get on it. Hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard, and you gotta get on it. And the only other thing I can say is that no matter what, no matter your deepest low, there's something brighter on the other side. There always is.
Right.
Without fail. Without fail.
All right, Charlie.
Well, if I could go back and see the younger me, I'd probably slap him, but it worked out okay, so I don't want to jinx it, worked out okay.
Stephen, how about you, man? You get to follow that.
I don't know, I probably would have tried to study more technique in college or with an instructor or something, because everything I know, I was self-taught, the whole, whatever you see me do, nobody showed it to me, so.
That's pretty impressive, though.
I mean, it was all just something made up in my mind that I wish I would have got into more of the technical side of learning how to play and read and all that stuff, but
Sure.
that's probably about it.
Okay.
Steve, can I interject for just 1 second?
No.
You don't need anybody to teach you.
No.
That's what makes you.
He didn't need any of that.
That's what makes you 100%
Appreciate it, man.
damn good.
All right, Jason, over to you.
That's
What
right,
would you
younger
say-
self, right?
What would you say to your younger self?
I would have told myself to get into music sooner and get out of the construction work.
Okay. Short, sweet, and to the point?
Yeah, I did electrical for 37 years, what a waste.
Larry?
I would have been a little more assertive business-wise and not been so passive and happy and content with just playing and not taking care of my business. The music business taught me that it's 90% business and 10% music. And so I approached it all wrong. I was all about trying to be the best musician that I could and not really paying attention to the business, and it really cost me, later, after the fact, So I would have been a better businessman if I could have.
I would say probably the last 6 or 7 years have probably been some of your best years, haven't they?
Well, things have turned around considerably since my involvement with the Bonamassa camp, but it still ain't picture perfect, and it ain't made up for all them lost days, all them lost years, you know. So I'm still out here working now like a young man, but you know, as long as I can get there physically and get to a stool or get to a spot and sit down, I still have a lot of fun. It's still fun to play. I still enjoy playing.
Yes, sir. And you know, I want to, while we're talking about the Bonamassa camp, you have got, we already talked about the B.B. King Blues Summit 100. You also have an incredible album out called Heartbreak City right now. Been out since springtime?
June 13th.
June, okay.
On my kid's birthday.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
How's it been going, man? You been having a good time with it?
You know, it really feels good to make the playlist. You know, I've supported Bluesville ever since it's been one.
Yes, sir.
And my frustration have always been that, you know, they wouldn't give my music a play, and not to have the wrong attitude about it, but a lot of the music that they play I thought was much worse than what we had to offer. And I could never figure out why that we couldn't get an opportunity with them, but with a bigger name behind you and a bigger endorsement, you know, everything is wide open. So I've been on the chart for the last since June, July, August, September, October, November. This is the 5th month, and I worked with a publicist that worked with all of the other blues bands.
Is that John?
No, with Michelle Castillo.
Oh, yeah.
But she said that that's unheard of. She said, man, you're doing great. She said, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to know that, you know, I'm getting a fair shake and a good go at it.
And it's a great thing, because I do subscribe to Sirius XM. Driving down the road and I hear one of those songs come on, Bright Side or whatever, it's just...
I heard they've been playing it. I don't have
they have been
the
playing
Sirius
your music, brother.
I heard that they have, so
And
I'm glad to know that.
And if I get a chance while I'm out and about, if I can safely do it, I'll snap a picture of my screen and I'll put it up on
Okay.
Facebook and tag you.
Yeah,
And that's what I've done in the past.
Yeah.
But it's really cool, because I mean, I know that you worked a lot of years, man, and it's like you said, for whatever reason you didn't, in my opinion, and you've heard Joe say it, you know, there's nobody in your class. You are the last of the blues shouters, the Rust Belt blues shouters out there. But he's felt like you're a national treasure. He even said so on the interview with me. And,
Joe have a deep appreciation for blues music, because, you know, okay, he took it to a whole different place.
sure.
But in terms of his early influences and what really made him sink his teeth in on guitar was blues music. His videos of him out there when he was just a kid, and he opened for B.B. King when he was 11. So he told me I'll be quick. He told me a story about when he was in elementary school, and so he had been out touring with B.B. King that summer when he was 11. So when he come back to school, it was Friday. You know, everybody's show and tell what you've been doing. So Mr. Bonamassa, what you been there? Well, I've been out touring with B.B. King and all this stuff. And so he said his teacher was insulted by, you know, him telling and thought that he was just sitting in line making up all this stuff. And so they talked to his parents and everything, and when his parents come in and when they seen all the newspaper articles and seen who he was, they all had to eat crow, and they was, oh, Mr. Bonamassa. You know, they had to, cause they was, you know, really gonna punish him, I guess, for lying.
Man.
And he wasn't lying. You know, he'd been out touring with BB when he was 11.
Yeah, and he was a child prodigy.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, the only thing that I regret about that situation, I wish I could have knew Baby Bonamassa, because I have seen some film and stuff of him, and I'm just about 20 years older than him.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have liked to know that little baby. He seemed like a nice little kid, that little baby kid. I wish I could have knew him.
Maybe you could pick up some guitar licks from him.
Yeah, maybe that too. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys, I got one more question for you. This is the last one of the lot here. For those of you that would like to put your information out there, and Larry, I'm gonna start with you. Single most important part of this, tell people where they can go to learn more about Larry McCray or whomever's gonna be speaking, order some music from you, book you for a gig, etc.
Okay. Well, if you want to know about where I am and where my live performances are, they are at LarryMcCrayOfficial.com.
Okay.
For anybody seeking to get my music, I have Bandcamp. Go to Larry McCray Bandcamp, and I have all of my music that's been published
Yes, sir.
on there. So, I'm very accessible at those two sites, Larry McCray Official and at Larry McCray Bandcamp.
Okay.
Mhm.
How about you, Jason?
Highwood Guitars on Facebook. You can find all my art, a lot of guitars I've built on there, and I have a YouTube channel where you can hear a lot of them played.
And you ought to follow him on Facebook. He's fun because he's always putting videos out there. Playing those guitars. It's
I
really
like
cool.
to do a lot of ambient stuff, storytelling type things.
Yeah, love it.
Things like that.
All right, Steven.
I don't really tour that much anymore,
Okay.
but I still play locally a lot. I'm the regular drummer in Soul Express, and I got a thing going on with Rhett and Eric Ryden and Jeff Grosel. It's called Eric Ryden and the Uncle Funk. I'm the Uncle Funk.
Okay, the Uncle Funk.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I do that, and then every now and then I still go out with Larry. So I'm playing with Larry on the 28th and at the Token Lounge this month.
Oh, see you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and but I mean, I'm on Facebook. I just post a lot of funny videos and music stuff. So
Henry the Donkey.
I'm always around doing something. Yeah, Henry.
It just occurred to me before I go any further, I need to stop for a minute and do a hard reset. Because Charlie, I wanted to talk to you about this last album that you worked on with Larry. You've got a couple songs on that album, don't you?
3.
Well, tell us about them. What songs do you have?
Well, the opening track, Try to Be a Good Man, which came from a demo that Larry and Steve and I did on Coldwater Lake in the late 90s. And then it finally saw light of day when Larry recorded it. And then the third track is Bye Bye Blues, which I wrote especially for Larry, especially for this album. And that one, that was the first single that was released. And then the other one is a very unusual song called Hangman, which is, you scratch your head, how did this song ever get on a contemporary blues album? But there's a whole story behind Hangman, which includes Scott Baker, one of the writers.
Right.
So.
And you can ask Larry, that's one of my favorite songs on that album.
Right off the bat, the first time he heard it, he picked Hangman.
Yeah, it was one of my favorites. So,
It carries a strong message, though. Hangman really does. So I could see how that might catch somebody who never heard it before.
When the deeper you got into that song, especially because I had heard some of the backstory during my interview with Charlie about the rewrite that you did and taking it a different direction with the young man in the last verse. Really makes it stand out. If you don't know what we're talking about, go get the album, Heartbreak City. You gotta have it. It's a great album. And you guys even got Grammy consideration early on in the process, didn't you?
It was submitted. It was submitted, but it didn't get the nomination.
But it still got consideration. I mean, I haven't heard Larry McCray in that discussion often enough.
I hope that I get another shot at it.
Well, you're young enough. I think you will.
I'm glad you think so. I'm scared.
You're only a few years older than me, so I don't want to hear it, man.
I'm still scared.
All right, Charlie, where can we send people to check out more information on you, sir?
I have a gig. I have a rock and roll gig in 2 weeks at Rubbles in Mount Pleasant with Mike Rise and the Rising Walrus Band. And I also play with Crazy Chester, You can find us on Facebook. And if you want to know about any other stuff, it's charliewamsley.com. And if you want to buy my music, just buy Larry's last 2 albums, and I'll be real happy about it.
Right in there, we all there together.
All right, Rhett, how about you, man?
Well, I'm gonna say I'm a wicked slacker, and I don't have any websites to send anybody to. But if
You
any-
still don't.
I still
I
don't.
interviewed you almost a year ago, didn't
Man,
I?
I'm fixing cars. I'm
Fixing cars, fixing amps.
Fixing cars, fixing amps,
Yeah.
working on guitars, and I just get too far behind on my projects. But you can find just about anywhere I'm playing at, either at Eric Ryden and the UncleFunk.com, which is me on bass, and then Steve, Jeff, and Eric, or the Rhett Yocom Blues Band on Facebook, Papa Kizka on Facebook, or the Vortex Jazz and Blues Band.com, or on Facebook.
Sounds good. Larry and Steve McCray, Jason Mills, Charlie Wamsley, Rhett Yocom. I want to thank you guys for taking the time and being here today. When I sit down to do these episodes, it's always fun because you heard the stories start flowing, and there's nothing more exciting to me than to be able to collect these stories and be able to preserve them for all the time, because it's this episode will end up on the Blues Archive at the University of Mississippi. So
great.
it's going to be great for those episodes, for those stories to be preserved, and it's one of the reasons that I love to do what I do.
Is that in Oxford?
It is.
Oxford, Mississippi.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Played there with
So-
the Harmon Brothers.
This is name dropper over here.
Well, that's how I knew where it was at. And also the home of Fat Possum.
There you go.
Mhm.
Well, before we wrap up here, I want to remind you that it takes an estimated 5,000 music streams to raise the equivalent of a $20 CD purchase. I couldn't believe that either, but it's true. And I have made it my policy to buy music from the artist first. Larry can attribute to that or attest to that. And then and only then will I allow myself to check out the streaming options. I look at it this way: if we want to keep live music out there, we need to support these artists, and trust me, they will thank you and they will appreciate it every single time, okay?
Greg Nagy just made a post today that AI has the number one music in our category right now.
Isn't that crazy?
Ain't that crazy?
It made the charts. AI,
Yeah, number one.
crazy.
AI.
Support live music. That's what it all comes down to. And that wraps up this edition of Time Signatures. Once again, my thanks to my guests, Larry and Steve McCray, also Jason Mills, Charlie Walmsley, and Rhett Yocom, but also to you. For without you, none of this would be possible. And our thanks to the audience. Hey, give yourselves a great big hand. We got probably 25 people sitting here in the Dunlop Garage in Bay City. Thank you all so much for being here. Jim Ervin reminding you, keeping the blues alive is everyone's responsibility, but preserving the history of the blues, one story at a time, that's my mission. Until next time, so long, everybody.
All right.
All right.
All right.
All right, Hanger, did everybody get one of the cards for the podcast? Go ahead and bring the house lights up for a minute for me, if you would.
Yeah.
Right here.
Scan the QR code on the left-hand side. We're gonna get one or two. And some pens.
I'm trying to be disrespectful in talking, but Paul has said to do it, to add to the atmosphere of it. So she said for us to do it, and then you got upset that we were doing it. So I'm really sorry. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful or talking, but she told us to do it, and then you said no, and I felt really bad. Because I wouldn't have done it if she hadn't said that.
Not a big deal.